All right, Philly Fusion. So, welcome to our monthly team call. Today, we have the amazing Lacy from corporate, who is my personal mentor. She is amazing. So, you guys better make sure that you have a pencil and paper because what she's going to say is going to be super amazing. So, no more with me talking. So, go ahead, Lacy. The floor is yours.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, you guys, super excited to be here. When Josiah asked me, I was like, of course, sure. I love meeting you coaches. I love meeting you over Zoom. I love meeting you over Facebook, but the best is when I get to meet you in person. And so I met a lot of you coaches at Summit and Saturdays, and so that's my favorite question, or that's my favorite thing ever to do, is to go out and to meet you coaches. And the thing I do is I go up and I ask, I'm like, what's your name? And my favorite question to ask is, how did you get involved with Beachbody? And this is how it always starts out. Well, I was sad, I was depressed, I was overweight, I wasn't healthy, I wasn't happy. And then I started seeing these posts by this person. I started following her on Facebook, and I started, watching her, and I reached out to her one day, and she got me involved with a challenge group. And now I've lost weight. I feel better about myself. I'm happier. I'm not tired anymore. I can play with my kids. And it just changed my life. And so, you guys, it's so awesome. The story always starts out where it's like, well, this and this and this and this. Then all of a sudden you see that life come back into their face and into their eyes. And they're just like, and now this and this and this. So I absolutely love meeting all of you guys. You're all amazing. You're helping change the world. You're helping end the trend. You're helping just people live healthy, happy. I always had happy, fulfilling lives by achieving their goals. And so I love that. So Beachbody coaches, you guys are amazing. What I wanted to talk to you guys today about is, I'm going to share my screen really quick. Is this thing right here? All right. So you guys, I know when you become a Beachbody coach, a lot of times you guys work full time. You are moms, you're wives, you got a million things on your plate, and you're just like, holy crap, how do I add one more thing, and how do I make it all fit? And so this is one of my favorite trainings to do with the coaches, because we only have 24 hours in the day. We all can't make time. We can't make it up. And so I'm just like, you guys, I'm like, everything can fit in. And you hear coaches all the time where you're like, I've got 5 kids, I've got 4 kids, I've got 3 kids, I work full time, but I found those pockets of time to make everything work. And so, you guys, this is one of my favorite trainings, and I call this the bucket training. All right, so with the bucket training, you guys, I say I want you to choose 5 different buckets. All right, 5 different buckets, and these are going to represent your time in your day. I always say I want you to take those first 3 buckets and make them whatever you want. So those first 3 buckets are whatever you want them to be. Okay, they can be your personal time, they can be your family time, they can be if you got to work full time, whatever those 3 buckets are, wherever you spend that time in your day, those 3 buckets are whatever you want. Bucket number 4 and number 5. Bucket number 4 is your Beachbody, your personal business, and then number 5 is your Beachbody, your team or your organization. So I always tell coaches, I'm like, you guys, write down what those 5 buckets are, and then I say, tell me how much time you're going to spend in each bucket. I say, give me a list of activities you're going to do in each bucket. For example, if it's your personal time, then you're going to spend, an hour in the personal time. You're going to do your PD, you're going to do your workout, you're going to, just meditate, whatever it is. You're going to get your massage, you're going to get your nails done, whatever it is. You tell me how much time you're going to spend in that bucket, and you do that through each of those 5 buckets. And you guys, the key to this training is that you don't let these buckets spill into one another, all right? If you're with your personal time, then you are not checking messages. I had a coach that had the hardest time ever. She wanted to do Beachbody 24/7, and she literally was just burning herself completely out. And I was like, I know. I'm like, you can't eat it, breathe it, sleep it, live it 24/7, because you cannot keep that up for the rest of your life. So I'm like, don't be afraid. I always tell coaches, don't be afraid to step back and just to be like, okay, I got to make everything work. This has got to be something that's sustainable. That's why with diets, you guys, I always say with diets, we're not going to have someone eat broccoli and chicken and, sweet potatoes for every single meal for the rest of their life. because they cannot sustain that. They can't. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, I hate this. Where's the cookies? Where's the donuts? Like, oh my gosh, I can't eat another piece of broccoli or another piece of chicken ever. So you guys, you have to be able to sustain this. So I say, take a step back and give yourself a schedule and stick to that schedule. If you're at your personal time, then you are just, it's all about you. It is all about you, where you're not thinking about your messages. You're not thinking about your notifications. Turn off those notifications, because you guys know when your phone dings, you're like, oh my gosh, who is that? Like, oh my gosh. So turn off those notifications. If you're with your family time, coaches always tell me, my husband or my boyfriend or my wife or my girlfriend, they love this training. Because you guys, if you're in your family time, then you don't have your phone there. You're not checking messages. You're not checking notifications. You're not using your computer. Like, you're with your family. So you guys, that is the buckets training. You choose 5 different buckets. 3 are whatever you want them to be. Number 4 is your Beachbody personal. Number 5 is your Beachbody your team. Put the amount of time you're going to spend in each bucket, and I know it does change. Like, just it can change. It can change like every day or every week or whatever. But just the majority of like how your days are going to be spent. Put those different activities in the buckets and keep those buckets pure from spilling into one another. All right. So don't be afraid. Don't think that you're going to be left in the dust if you're not doing Beachbody 24/7. All right. If you're not doing Beachbody 24/7, you are not going to be left in the dust, and people are not going to pass you. I think too, a lot of times, and I compare this to when my first year of college, I had a full ride scholarship, and my parents were like, "Don't work, Lacy. You know, I had to keep like a 3.8 or something like that. You know." And they're like, don't work, Lacy, because we want you to keep the scholarship, and just don't work. And so just concentrate on your classes and your homework and all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, all right, I won't work. The first semester, you guys, like, it was so much harder because I thought I had all this time to do all my homework and assignments. Then I just kind of like waited. And like, it was all about like the quantity of time. It wasn't the quality. So the next semester I was like, no, I've got to get myself a schedule. I've got to work. And you guys, when I had to work, so I was a lot busier when I had a schedule. I was like, those hours I had to dedicate to homework and to assignments, it was way more about the quality. And so I told the coach, I'm like, you guys, don't be worrying about it all day long, 24/7, because you're going to completely mentally exhaust your mind with thinking about all the things you have to do, rather than just like, boom, it's your time to work now, and boom, you're going to get it in. All right. And just like, one of the coaches, I think her name was Erin, I can't remember what her last name was, but she talked about how she had to find those power pockets. Because a lot of you like full-time working moms, and just, you don't have like an hour here or a couple hours here. You like maybe have 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 10 minutes here. And like those power pockets you can find. And as long as you're organized and you can have a list of things that you need to do that are going to help move your business forward, it's perfect. All right. So guys, what I want to talk to you about next is that Beachbody number 4 bucket. All right. That Beachbody number 4 bucket. Okay. That is huge. I work with all the diamonds 1 and 2 stars in the Northeast. And so that Beachbody number 4, that's your personal business. I think for the longest time ever is that when you're just a coach, then you are 100% in the offense mode. And you are in recruiting, you're trying to build relationships with people, you're trying to attract people, you're trying to connect with people, you're trying to form people. You're like 100% in, I need to find people for my challenge groups, for the coach opportunity, to invite to my free groups, to whatever. You're 100% in that mode. All of a sudden, you've got these coaches down. You've got challengers, you've got coaches, and now you've got this team. And you're like, oh my gosh, I've got to turn 100% into like the defense mode, because these people are going to be with me for the rest of my life. And they forget to do all these things that they were doing in order to get that team. And I always say, you guys, that is where so many people's businesses start to like go down and down and down. When you're diamond 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would even call it up to 5, you need to be spending 80% of your time on your very own business and only about 20% of your time on your team. And yes, so many of my coaches, diamonds 1 and 2 stars, like that 80-20 is so specific. So many of my coaches, they flop that. They switch that, and they spend 20% of their time on their team, on their very own business, and 80% on your team. And you guys, you will never grow. Your volume will never grow. Your team will never grow. You'll never advance unless you get it back to the 80-20. 80% of your time on your team, on your very own business, and 20% of the time on your team. And so you guys, I always talk to coaches about, okay, you got to control the controllable. So this is your first call to action for this. In that Beachbody bucket number 4, I want you to make a list of your activities that you can do on a daily basis every single day that are going to move your business forward. All right, make a list. 5 to 8 activities that will move your business forward and that you are completely in control of. All right, make that list. And then you guys, every single day, do that list first. It feels so good. We call these, like when you're able to check off those little things that you do every single day to move your business forward, you can check them off. We call those wins for the day. And when you have those wins for the day, you feel so good and you feel like you actually accomplished things. If you are concentrating so much on your team and trying to help them reach their goal and trying to help them do this and help them do that, and you kind of feel like you're like tugging them along and just like chasing your coaches because they don't want it, you're going to feel every single day like, oh my gosh, like I worked 3 hours in my business and I didn't get one thing done. And it's going to be so frustrating. So I always say, you guys, make sure you're doing that list of 5 to 8 activities that are going to move your business forward. Do those activities first. And a lot of times coaches say, well, Lacy, how do I help my coaches do this? Or how do I help my coaches do that? And I always say, lead from the front, lead by example. Control the controllable and influence the rest. The best way you can help your coaches hit SC is by you hitting it. The best way you can help your coaches invite is by you inviting. You guys, that is the biggest thing. Like inviting is that frog. And people always say, well, Lacy, I'm doing this and this and this and this and this, all this other fluffy stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, awesome. Are you inviting? Well, no, but I'm doing my posts and I'm doing my blog and I'm sharing this and I'm sharing that. And I'm like, you guys, you have to actually reach out and invite. You have to invite to either a free group or a challenge group or a coaching opportunity. You have to invite to something. Until you actually reach out and do that invite, then all this other stuff, that doesn't count as your invite. And coaches always are like, oh man, but I'm doing this and this and this and this. And I'm like, unless you're inviting, I'm like, you guys, you're missing that crucial step. And so I always tell people, I'm like, coaches, I'm like, you guys, think of your business as your very own personal business as a Beachbody tree. You've got this beautiful tree. I'm like, think of your business as this tree. And I'm like, the roots of your tree, you want them to grow deep into the earth, all right? So the roots of your tree, that is your recruiting. That is your building relationships with people. That is your inviting them to things. That is your connecting with them. That is your forming relationships with them. Those roots are what you need to be working on every single day. That's where 80% of your time needs to be spent, is growing those roots deep. Constantly like reaching out to people, constantly connecting with people. 80% of your time is spent there. Those roots of the tree. Now, the branches of the tree, those are your coaches. Those are your coaches who you are bringing on board. All right. The fruit of that tree, that is like your success club trips. That's your ranking advancement. That's like all the fruit, like all like the showy things, your medals you get, your ribbons you get. Like that's all the showy things. I always say, when that storm comes, not if, it's when that storm comes, if your roots aren't strong of that tree, if you have not been constantly reaching out, connecting with people, attracting people, inviting people to different things, forming different relationships with different people, if your roots are not strong, when that storm comes, and it will, it's going to pick up your tree and blow it away. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what the heck? But if every single day you are constantly reaching out, attracting people, connecting with people, inviting people, forming relationships with people, when that storm comes, it's going to shake the tree. You might lose some fruit. You might lose some branches and coaches, but you know what? You're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine because those roots are strong, because every single day you've been constantly reaching out, connecting with people, inviting people, forming people. So you guys, keep that Beachbody tree super strong. Keep those roots deep where that tree is not budging. Like last weekend I went home to throw a bridal shower for my baby, a bridal shower for my cousin. And my brother, he had their trampoline tied to the tree. Because where I grew up, like literally guys, the wind blows so hard. When I grew up, we literally probably lost 3 or 4 trampolines. It just like blew over the hill. They would even be staked down, like little stakes. But it was tied to the tree this time, and he's like, remember growing up place? And I was like, yeah. He's like, we lost like 4 or 5 trampolines. And he's like, I tied it to the tree. He's like, yeah, I have all these other stakes. But he's like, I tied it to the tree because that tree is not going anywhere. Like those roots are so deep. So you guys keep that Beachbody tree super strong, all right? So I want you to really focus on your time management because you guys, it's totally doable. You see coaches who work full time, who have kids, who are wife, who are a girlfriend, a husband, a boyfriend. Like we all have lives. We all have a ton of things out on our plates. You guys, I always ask coaches, are you committed to these goals or are you just interested in these goals? Because if you're committed, you are going to find a way to make it happen. If you're just interested, you're going to be like, oh, I'll find time when it's convenient, or when this slows down. I always say, I tell coaches when they hear from their coaches, oh, I'm just like so busy right now, but when life slows down, then I'm going to get back into it. And I'm always like, oh, I'm like, those are words you never want to hear because life is never going to slow down. It really isn't. And so you guys find a way to make this work and keep those buckets pure. This is something that you can just totally sustain. Otherwise, if you're doing it 24/7, eating, drinking, sleeping, breathing, Beachbody, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't take this anymore. Like, so you guys keep that schedule good. This other little thing I want to show you is we call this the RSVP. This is with that 80-20 rule, RSVP. I say you want to spend 80% of your time, just like I talked about, 80% of your time on recruiting and sales. So 80% of your time on finding people, setting up with Shakeology and a challenge pack. All right, 80% of your time should be spent here. The other 20% of your time is on very new people. So those new coaches you bring in, you're gonna have to spend more time with them than coaches you brought in, like last month or 6 months ago or last year or 2 years ago. When you bring those coaches in, you need to have some kind of like coach basics or coach training, something to put your coaches through so that they are set up for success. So you're gonna have to spend more time with them than coaches you brought in, like before. And then also is the performers. So you guys, the people who are doing the actions, those 5 to 8 activities, those controllable activities that they can use in order to move their business forward. All right, so those performers. And I always tell coaches, you guys, if everyone says, they want their time and they're trying to get your time, like make them send you their BAT. A lot of you might be working with your upline coaches that have you send them their BAT in order for you to get a one-on-one call with them. I'm like, that is perfect because then you can see that they're doing those activities every single day that are going to move their business forward. They're actually performing and doing those tasks that are going to move their business forward. It's going to move their volume. It's going to move their ranks. They're going to just attract more people. And so you guys, the 20% of your time is right here with the very, very new people and the performers. And I was talking to a coach earlier today where she fell into the trap of, like turning all of her time on her coaches, and then her business was she was like actually going backwards. And she said, Lacy, that whole 80-20 rule, she goes, if I spend, like 4 hours a day on Beachbody, she says that really is only about 30 minutes on like my team, on my coaches. And I was like, I know. She goes, it really isn't that much time when you think about it. I'm like, it's so, you've got to so make that time count. Like that time that you're going to spend with them, make it count. Have some kind of whether it's your uplines, coach basics, or whatever kind of training you're going to go through. Make sure it's something that's going to set them up for success. But 80% of your time right here, recruiting and sales. Other 20% of your time is on the very new people and the performers. And you guys, I always tell coaches, it is so beneficial to have videos because you're going to be asked the same question again and again and again and again and again and again. And so I'm like, make a video because that way you're going to ask that question and be like, oh my gosh, I made a video about this. Watch it. Let me know if you have any questions after that. And so then it takes, all you have to do is take 5 seconds to send a little link rather than taking, 20 or 30 minutes. And we all know the conversations turn into sometimes hours. So you guys make videos of questions you were asked a lot, the same questions, make a video so that you can be like, boom, here's the video that answers that question perfectly. So those are some tips with time management and just with your very own business and how you can help grow your team, how you can grow your volume. Just keep that 80-20 rule, keep it as pure as you can, and then with your own life, keeping those 5 buckets from spilling in to each other, all right? So I'm going to stop my screen share. You guys, any questions at all? Like, I am here to help you grow your business. I am here to help you all that I can. And I don't have my next call for the next 10 minutes. So any question you guys have for me, I work with coaches all day long, every single day. So I'd love to know any questions. And I'll send these badges that I made to Syra. So if you guys want to like pass it on to your downline, you know, or whatever. And I have a lot of my coaches that are like, I actually had to give this training to my upline because they wanted me to eat, breathe, sleep, and, you know, like live Beachbody 24/7. And so you guys keep something that's sustainable, you know, and make that quality time that you put into coaching, make it quality, not quantity. Make it quality time where you're like getting things done.
Lacy, you rock. I just took 3 pages of notes.
Oh, I love you, Michelle.
Great, good stuff.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you said make a list of 5 to 8 activities. What would you recommend? Like, what are some examples?
Okay, I would recommend for sure doing your workout, drinking your shake, posting about it, PD, and then I love the daily 4 activities. I'm like, you guys do these. I call them the daily 4 or the fantastic 4 or whatever, the vital 4. I'm like, add people to your network every single day. I say connect with people every single day. Invite people every single day and follow up. And people always ask me, well, how many people? How many people, Lacy? And the power of 3s, I always say, start with the power of 3s. I'm like, and if the power of 3s, if you're doing those and you're not getting the results that you want, then you're going to have to do the power of 5 or the power of 10 or the power, whatever. Like your results are going to be aligned with the kind of work you put in. So you guys, people always say, if they say, I want to be 5-star elite and they're a diamond right now, I'm like, all right. I'm like, are you committed to that goal? And they're always like, yes. And I'm like, all right, then you are going to have to put in the work because you can't have this goal and just be like, oh, well, I'm going to, just put in half efforts and want to get like a full return. So I would say start with the power of 3. Once you have that perfected, then I'm like going the power, like whatever. So yeah, I'm like the daily 4, the fantastic 4. I would say add 10 people to your network. And that doesn't mean just clicking add. You want to like actually add 10 people to your network. So they're actually accepting your friend request or however you're adding them to your network. If you're meeting them in the grocery store or at soccer practice or at baseball practice or at dance, like you're adding 10 people every single day. Then you're connecting with 10. So you're connecting with them somehow, like reaching out. Then you're inviting at least 5 to a free group, to a challenge group, to a sneak peek, to something. You're inviting them to something. So you guys get a calendar where you are organized, where you always have something that you're inviting them to, whether it's a challenge group or free group, whatever. Like have a calendar so you are organized. And I always say follow up with at least 10. Because we all know that the key is in the follow-up. The key is in the follow-up. And you guys, you have to have some kind of tracking system that you are tracking because otherwise people will fall through the cracks. They totally will. Some way you have to know that you are tracking people. Jessica Bauer Nelson, she did that National Wake Up Call where she says, what you track goes whack. What you track, you can impact. She said her business didn't flourish until she started like being like, okay, like where am I at? And she started tracking things. And she said, oh my heavens, her business just soared because she realized like what she was doing or what she wasn't doing. Or so you guys track it.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I kind of went off on a tangent.
Any more questions before we let Lacy go? She has another call, and I know she wants to go home soon.
You guys, I am here. Reach out whenever. I'm seriously here. I am more than happy to, I'm just like you guys. I work with the willing. Seriously, I work with the willing. And so just reach out if you have any questions, any comments. I'm here to help you guys. Just find those people. Just like Carl said, he goes, we do not have a shortage of people. He's just like, people have a problem and we have a solution for them. It's just like, and you guys, we've got the best fitness products, the best nutrition products, but it's the accountability, the support groups that are so key. That's how people get the results. That is totally how it's because of you guys. They feel loved. They feel supported. They don't feel judged. It's like a challenge group is all about just accountability and support. The community you have, they're amazing. And so that's where the results come. And then the PD is so important because I always say your mind is the biggest asset or the biggest liability. That PD is so huge. And that's why Beachbody, I'm like, Beachbody has it figured out. I'm like, they get coaches to focus on personal development, which is so key. It's so key. So guys, thanks so much for having me on. You guys are amazing. It's so awesome to see your faces.
Thank you again, Lacy. We truly appreciate it. And for Team Philly Fusion, just make sure that you check the Philly Fusion page. We have amazing things coming up October 13th. Make sure you set that date, put it on your calendar. We can't tell you what's going on, but as soon as we give the okay, we'll definitely let you know that, you know, what's going on. October 29th is the Super Saturday. Make sure you have your ticket, because the people who have a ticket already are going to have the first dibs of what's going on in October 13th, and you're going to want to be there. So definitely have your Super Saturday ticket. Again,
yes, you are. Much.
Yes.
I know what's going on. And so what she's saying, like yes.
Yes, you guys are going to want to be there. So again, thank you so much for joining us, and have a great night. Again, thank you, Lacy.
Yes, of course. Kate, see you guys. Have a good night.
See you. Good night.